Society is obsessed with a calling or purpose. Passion is often framed in a way that always erases class, gender, race, burnout, and emotional labor. Welcome to my space. I'm your communication bestie, Tendai. I help leaders, organizations communicate with clarity and cultural competence. Hello to the new subscribers. Thank you for choosing my space. Today we're going to talk about something that's more exciting since it's still the beginning of the year, can help you propel and have some momentum for the months ahead. We're going to talk about passion, but not in the sense that we have always known it to be. I took the time to research about how passion can help us in our humanity, in the arts, in education, also help you to become a better steward of your life. When I was thinking about all the different ways that passion can manifest itself in our lives, I wanted to understand what it is first, because we learned that passion is, something that's going to move you forward. What is it about passion that drives you to achieve the things you might want to achieve? In this video, you are going to learn what passion is, how you can cultivate that passion, key aspects that drive passion in humanity, and how you can fuel your passion, because your time is now. So let's get into it. Passion is a multifaceted phenomenon that fuels motivation, creativity, and innovation across various domains. It serves as a driving force in leadership, education, the arts, and even pursuit of innovation. Understanding the dual nature of passion, harmonious versus obsessive, can help us understand human behavior and societal progress. So what is passion? Passion is an intense, enduring, and often barely controllable emotion, enthusiasm, or desire for a person, activity, or concept. And I know most of us know passion as the desire for someone, right? Say, I'm passionate about this person. Yeah, that is true. However, you can also use that same passion to fuel whatever activity you're interested in or a concept. Let's get into the key aspects that help us understand what fuels passion in humanity. And by humanity, I mean you, me, and everybody else on this burning planet. The first one is passion in leadership, passion in education, passion in the arts and humanities, and fourth, passion and innovation. I was asking myself, how can people enhance the passion that they have for things? Because you don't just wake up one morning and you're passionate about this thing. What is the thing that actually drives you to get there? Start with leadership. Passion is essential for effective leadership, fostering resilience and emotional engagement in organizations. That's something that I can speak on as a cultural communication strategist, is the amount of times where when you're in a leadership position or you are leading a team, you have to be passionate about your leadership, and your leadership styles have to reflect in how everyone is working. In turn, it has to also provide resilience for your team members to be able to excel and also emotionally engage within the company. The second one is education. Most of us have definitely gone to school. This will feel more familiar. In educational context, passion acts as a motivating force that encourages self-reflection and development of autonomous identities. Harmonious passion in learning promotes commitment and perseverance, even in the face of challenges. And I can speak to that. When I was at university, it was very, very difficult for me to find momentum to push through. Why? Because I was coming from South Africa to the Americas, and in college, it was very, very hard for me to adjust to culture shock and trying to understand how to navigate my own autonomy in this new environment. And even though I still had the passion for education, which is what drew me to school, I still had to understand how I can enhance my well-being, my creativity, and my perseverance in order to succeed in the challenges that I faced. The third aspect of passion is arts and humanities. Engagement in the arts and humanities can lead to a positive personal outcome, such as enhanced creativity and well-being. The quality of passion, whether harmonious or obsessive significantly influences the benefits derived from artistic engagement. I don't need to tell you this because we all can definitely discover our passions and the things that we might love about life through learning about the arts, immersing ourselves in the arts, or creating our own art, and learning how we can be able to enhance our creativity and overall well-being. Let's go to the last one, passion and innovation. Passion is a critical element in the innovation process. It drives individuals to create and share ideas. Love for one's work combined with passion sustains the innovation spirit necessary for progress. While passion can be powerful, and it is a wonderful, powerful motivator, it is important to recognize that excessive or obsessive passion may lead to negative outcomes such as burnout or discontent. And I'm going to share more of this later on in the video. Let's go to section 2 and talk about passion. Is it innovation, love, or both? So like I said, passion isn't a personality trait, talent, or a lightning bolt moment. At its core, passion is sustained emotional energy directed towards something meaningful. And we're often told that passion comes from within, but that is only half true and quite honestly a little bit individualistic. Because I can't tell you what specific activities that you need to engage in order to cultivate your interest. Because we're not the same and thus our interests vary. However, passion usually emerges from interaction, not isolation. And I'm going to share a video that I saw on TikTok many months ago that helped me understand how the phrase I am is a mental instruction and can help you to fuel and cultivate your interests. Roll the clip.
Really short video. I'm not going to get into the context. You're just going to have to take my word for this, okay? I study neurolinguistics, which is the relationship between language and the nervous system. And what I want you to know is I am is a mental instruction. Let me say that again. I am is a mental instruction. Therefore, whatever you say after that, you become, whether you realize it or not. Use that phrase intentionally and use it on purpose and start auditing the things that you are claiming that you are, because you are telling your brain what to make you.
So far we've learned what passion is, the 4 key aspects that help us as humanity to enhance our passions, how we can cultivate our passion through the interests and things that we do. One of my favorite things I'd shared was passion usually emerges from interaction, not isolation. So you would need, like the video said, to tell yourself that I am this, I can do this. That in and of itself helps you create that autonomous identity. And this is why so many people don't find their passion early. They weren't resourced, safe, or exposed enough to develop it, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. And it's not a personal failure on those people, it's just structural reality. Because we have to understand the intersectionalities of how we can all be able to be passionate in the things that we do, but also, recognize that not everyone has the resources and opportunities to actually delve and engage into their desired passions. Section 3, let's talk about how we can build passion. Enhancing passion involves a multifaceted approach that incorporates mindset, self-regulation, and intrinsic motivation. Research indicates that adopting a developed mindset can significantly influence individuals to adopt and employ strategies that cultivate passion, leading to increased engagements in their pursuits. So you have to keep going. Number 1, developing a growth mindset. People who adopt this mindset report higher intentions to use cultivation strategies, which results in having increased passion over time. This passion is rooted in individual purpose and the pursuit of diverse experiences, rather than being confined to specific activities. I'll explain. So when you're passionate about something, let's say you're passionate about flying kites, you can read about flying kites, you can watch videos on YouTube about flying kites, you can even draw or paint a kite. But until you go outside and meet other people who enjoy kites like you, or you learning to actually fly the kite outside, is the only time you're going to understand how much passionate you are about flying a kite. And this is what they mean by passion is rooted in individual purpose, you loving and having drive to want to learn something, but also the pursuit of the experience of that activity. instead of being confined. So you would need to actually what? Go outside and fly your kite. Number 2, passion as a way of being. This perspective fosters and reinforces the cycle of engagement and fulfillment, contributing to overall well-being. That just means that you constantly have to do that thing that you're passionate about in order to continue to reinforce your engagement and fulfillment in that activity. The third, intrinsic motivation in leadership. This is for my serious people. I guess not really serious, but people who are leaders in executive spaces. Leaders who find alignment between their personal strengths and organizational missions are more likely to sustain their passion, because we all know work can stress us the F out, okay? And it comes with its own challenges and curveballs. But as a leader in your field or in whatever capacity you find yourself leading, you have to find the alignment between your personal strengths, what you know you're good at, and understanding how you can apply that to the organization's mission, depending if where you're working fosters that to continue to sustain your passions. Additionally, passion is not solely tied to a specific activity, but it can also be viewed as a passionate way of being, right? Like just wanting to do new things. And this is characterized, like I said earlier, by purpose, positive impact, and variety, which will create a self-sustaining passion spiral. I actually had drawn a very kind of nice diagram about this. Please don't laugh at my drawing, but I did build a nice little old passion spiral where you think about autonomy, alignment, mastery, personal values, and education, which is pretty much educating yourself on whatever it is that you're passionate about. So passion is good to have. Conversely, while passion can lead to positive outcomes, it can also become overwhelming if not managed properly, potentially detracting from overall life satisfaction. So we have to always find that balance. The next section, we're going to talk about the passion paradigm. This is how passion fuels motivation, innovation, and emotional engagement. But it can also lead to burnout and discontent if not handled with balance. We are going to learn in this next video how we can practice our passion, where the person is talking about how you can cultivate your passions and how you can practice that in your life. Roll the clip.
And it seems like that's what you need to do to get ahead, is accumulate achievements. But I'm telling you, your character is going to matter much more than those things you put on your resume. Maybe on a related point, this is a quote. This is my quote, right? If practice makes perfect, and you practice being useless, one day you will be perfectly useless. So why do I say this? I think a lot of people, in the pursuit of achievement, right, they will say, well, I'll serve later, I'll give back later, I'll volunteer later, I'll mentor someone else later. Once I get there, once I get my PhD, once I become a professor, once I get that job, once I'm a millionaire, once whatever the thing is, a lot of people say, once I get to this point, then I'll start giving back. But you get good at what you practice. If you practice being selfish, you're going to be really selfish. If you practice trying to make money, you'll be good at making money. That's not going to make you a good mentor. It's not going to make you a good husband. That's not going to make you a good friend. Where you invest your time is what you're going to get good at. So you need to work hard. I'm not saying don't work hard. What I'm saying is that if you have in your mind that you are going to get to some point in life, and at that point you're going to start giving back, at that point you're going to start volunteering, at that point you're going to start caring about the less fortunate in the world, you are not going to be of any use to those people. You're not going to know those people.
Something that I learned in some of the journals I was reading about passion, it was interesting how the new phenomenon to positive psychology nowadays is a passionate way of being. And it's more about having purpose, creating positive impact, and pursuing variety. One of the things that I have seen that can help me, or that has continuously helped me when I am feeling depleted, burnout, and trying to refuel my passion and invest in myself, as in practice habits or things that are always going to lead me to, get through it. Because at the end of the day, human passions fuel innovation, right? And without those emotions, our innovations would be impossible. Thomas Edison, Amelia Earhart, all these people who did the things that they did and were successful in that had to be driven by the emotion aspect of having passion. Because if there's no emotion behind it, you really cannot fuel and invest in yourself. And I want you to think about how you can use that as you build your own way of being through being passionate. Roll the clip.
In between things, I've been bankrupt, I've worked in restaurants, I've driven school buses, I've driven a cab, always knowing that I would get back to what I do. That was something I had to do to be able to survive. So I tell people, survive. You gotta survive, but then you have to know when to step away from that survival. Because, see, life is it's never gonna be the same. It's always changing. And it's not always comfortable. And you have to take a chance and a risk. And the chance and risk you have to take is on you, right? It's investing in you. And so if you don't see it, I'm gonna see it for you without even knowing what any of you do, right? That's the chance and the risk you have to take, knowing this. If you know that the universe is composed of energy, it's the energy of goodness, it's the energy of light, it's the energy that wants you to succeed. If you don't have that energy within you, you better find it. Because once you find that, you'll step out on the edge, and the universe is going to catch you. It's going to hear you, it's going to feel you, it's going to feel your love and your dedication, and it's going to support you like a cloud, like a pillow. And you're going to open a door, and that door, someone's going to say, I want you to do this. And you're going to go, tears are going to come to your eyes. Because you're going to say, that's what I've always wanted to do. Don't wait to be great. You are great right now, here in this moment, every second, every single day. All you have to do is invite it. And once you invite it, it's there, it's on you. And be careful what you ask for, because once that door opens, you better be ready to step through it. You got to step through it with all your heart and all your soul, and everything will be energized surrounding that.
I really like that video. It teaches us that human passions will always fuel innovation, that passionate innovators share their passion with others. We are going to end this video soon. Before we do that, we're going to talk about if passion is a skill or something that is innate, as in it's in your bones. When I was looking online in some of the articles and research, I learned that passion is not innate, but the capacity for passion is. So what that means is you're not born with just passion flowing in your veins, but your desire and willingness to invest in whatever you're passionate in is the innate thing. Does that make sense? Because everyone has potential to care deeply about something, but they have to be passionate in order for them to cultivate that potential. Here's how you can recognize that. First is curiosity. That curiosity is gonna birth attention. Because you're curious, you're gonna be like, I wanna learn more about that. And through that attention, you're gonna practice. And from practice, you're gonna become competent, as in you're gonna be able to execute whatever it is. And when you're competent, you're gonna be more confident. And when you're confident, you're gonna be attached to that skill. It's gonna be something that you do flawlessly. And once you're attached, guess what? You found your passion. Isn't that awesome? So at the end of the day, passion is a skill in the same sense that it requires constant commitment, tolerance for boredom, and willingness to be bad before being good, and the emotional regulation that is needed when motivation dips. Because we can all be passionate about something, but that doesn't mean you're always going to have that momentum and drive. So you have to be okay with being bored during the process of you wanting to understand the skill in something that you're passionate about. Something that I love about being passionate about things and how I see that in people is people who appear to be naturally passionate are often just people who have stayed long enough for attachment to form. They didn't get bored, they didn't quit, they just kept going. and understood that, whatever it is they're passionate about will take time for them to become proficient. What I can leave you guys with today, there are some questions that I drew up for myself that have helped me understand where my passion thermometer lies in terms of the temperature. Like, Tendai, how do I know that I'm passionate about this thing? And these are some of the questions that can help you in that journey. First, don't ask yourself, what am I passionate about? No, because you're going to think about a bazillion things, and that is not productive. What you do need to ask yourself is, what do I keep returning to? What is that one subject, topic, activity I keep returning to? For some, it's football, and they find themselves going back to it constantly. It helps them in some way. That can be your passion. Some people will always return to painting. All different things that you see yourself continuously doing, that could be an indicator that is something you're passionate about. The second question is, what problems do I enjoy thinking about solving? Not problems you're actually going to solve, because you can't solve all the problems. These are specific problems that you think, I might enjoy solving this problem, and that can fuel your passion. Third question is, what conversations energize me after they're over? It's like when I talk to my friends about social justice issues, I feel immensely motivated and ready to just take on the world. That conversation always energizes me, which leads me to believe I'm constantly passionate about social justice. The other question is, what am I willing to improve at slowly? Just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect at it. We did talk about how you have to practice, you have to have that attachment, and you have to be okay when motivation dips for you to develop that. So you're asking yourself, what am I willing to improve at slowly? That is your clue. And then the last question is, what feels aligned with how I see the world? How do you feel aligned with what you see in the world? I am passionate about communication in all its forms. And I was thinking to myself, what are some things about communication that I feel like I would like to solve, like an issue or problem? And for me, that is cultural competence, because I realized in my studies and pursuit of understanding communication that you have to be culturally competent in order to understand how to communicate with people. And how does that align with me and how I see the world? I feel like when we are all culturally competent, we are able to navigate the world more seamlessly and be able to understand where people are coming from. Without that, I wouldn't be able to be the good communicator that I am. So passion will often reveal itself retrospectively, not upfront. You always have to be thinking about what you are enjoying, what you keep returning to, what you're willing to improve at slowly, and what feels aligned in how you see the world. As a communication strategist, I have noticed how society is obsessed with a calling or purpose, and yet passion is often framed in a way that always erases class, gender, race, burnout, and emotional labor. People don't understand that those things also play a part in how we can be successful in the things we're passionate about. And a culturally competent way of understanding passion is recognizing that many people had to survive before they could self-actualize. And passion isn't missing, it's just delayed, redirected, or buried under obligation. And the good news is it can still be built. I encourage you to fuel your passion, because your time is now. Thanks again for watching my video. I am so excited to hear your 2 cents about passion and how you have been doing your best to fuel that in your life. You can share this video with your friends. Please be kind to one another. I'll see you guys in the next one.